So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Doc Coyle from Bad Wolves.
And we're going to have some questions to say about the upcoming album, Die About It. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
It's been great. I mean, anytime you release new music, you want people to be vibing on it and connecting to it and feeling it. And so far, it feels pretty good.
Oh yeah, this record fucking crushes.
It's fucking crazy.
So you guys have heard the whole album?
Heard the whole thing.
Okay, all right. There we go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, fucking rocks, man.
Thank you.
Of course. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
The actual album title, I guess it's a play on the phrase "cry about it."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the John and DL would probably be better descriptors of what it actually means and kind of the vibe. It definitely wasn't my idea, the actual album title. So I think it's more of a response to kind of, this place in society right now where people are kind of big complainers about everything.
Yeah.
and so it's like, you might as well just die about it, like get over it kind of.
Yeah.
I think that's the genesis of the title. And I know I'm gonna do a bunch of interviews where people can ask me. I should probably
check it,
answer a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, but you can, like, the answer you gave us, I think, is plenty fine, which is just like, I wasn't the one that did it, but this is how I interpret it,
Exactly.
Or I should just start making stuff up.
You could
no,
do
that's
that
a lot more fun, actually. Yeah.
Any meaning behind the cover art, though?
Actually, I don't know. I think it was. I was basically, there was a few different versions of the artwork, and I think the original was like this one piece of art that we wanted to use, and it was just kind of like out of our price range that we were dealing with this one artist, and then we had something similar, and everyone was like, it's all right, and then this was like the third version of things that felt like it wasn't. What we were doing, we felt was a little generic, and this felt like it had some flair. I think the color scheme was something everyone really enjoyed. The kind of black and gold, felt a little bit different. But yeah, again, some of these stuff I was like, yeah, that's cool, but it wasn't like some great discussion of like, this means the symbolism of the apple. You see, apple is capitalism, right? And the skull is the proletariat. Like, there was no.
Just like, this looks badass. Let's go with that.
If that did happen, they did not include me on that. So
damn.
But that's what I love. So our last album was literally like a wolf head, and so no one's gonna ask you like, what does the wolf head mean?
What does that symbolize?
I like that. We need to go with that. Or like if you're doing like Metallica, it's like the Black Album. It's just black. No one asked them that question. What does it mean?
Yeah.
Are you is the void? Do you feel the void?
Right. Is it space? What is it? Yeah.
Got to keep the cover art simplistic, I guess.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
So as far as like, when it was kind of crazy because we had released our previous album, Dear Monsters, and we had a situation where the band was in a lawsuit and couldn't tour right away when like the album came out, couldn't really promote, like we couldn't use our social media. There was a lot of stuff we couldn't do. It was really tough. So we didn't get to really start touring on the album till about 5 months after the album came out, something like that, 4 or 5 months after the album came out. And so by the time the album came out, and this happens a lot of times with bands, like for you, the album is almost old because you recorded a while ago, or the amount of time it takes to like master the record and promote it, like, so it was a situation. By the time we started touring, it was like guys were already like, all right, we're working on the next record. So we finished our first tour with Papa Roach in Hollywood and Dead, and went right pretty much into the studio. And so like the way we started this time, it was just basically John, our drummer, who's like the main songwriter, Max, the other guitar player, who kind of is like the producer slash, like he's like the rhythm guitar master, like creative genius, and kind of me like working on instrumentals, and so someone would come in with a maybe a couple riffs or three or four riffs or something like that and have an idea. And the way we kind of do is we kind of just riff farm, where we'll just go for a couple hours and just pull as much different parts out, and go, okay, well, we got this. So then maybe after like 2 or 3 hours, you've got 6 parts or something. And then the next part is like arranging stuff. Like, oh, how do you, let's put this here. Maybe this is the best part. And then what you thought was the verse ends up being the chorus. Or you try it there and then you go, okay, maybe you have a part and you'll do like 5 different drum beats on it because it's just, or then you'll start layering it and then the layer will end up, all right, well, let's make this keyboard line that does, and then so it's just this process of kind of like farming something. And then even that you'll have like, maybe you'll have a rough song idea after a day or so, and then the next day you'll come in after listening to it and then you're like, that part sucks, and then you revamp the thing you did yesterday. And there's that part of it, and then it's like we'll send that to DL, he'll start working on vocal ideas, and then that changes the song. It's kind of crazy. I was actually listening to a demo for a song that we didn't even end up making the record, and the first version of it, there's like 3 songs worth of material just in this one instrumental.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy how much stuff happens, and then on this record we collaborated with some other songwriters. John, like this song, what am I forgetting the name of the song, Hungry for Life. It's a good friend of ours named Seth that he'll write like pop music and stuff, and so he had like this rough version of a song, and so we'll take that and adjust the kind of vocals and the lyrics and then build music around it. And that's a big process. And then this album we worked a lot more with Joseph McQueen and Josh, formerly of As I Lay Dying. We did a lot more stuff in the studio with them, and a lot of that is like not only arranging but like sound design. They're so brilliant with tones and keyboards and all this different stuff. It really gives new dimensions and stuff. So it's a pretty crazy process, I'll be honest. And I'm not the main songwriter. I feel like I'm more of a contributor. And it's just about being, sometimes it's like other people you gotta let people cook, and you come in, you just put a little spice in there, a little sauce,
a little bit your own.
Yo, man, we need some some green onions,
exactly.
Right? Some garnish.
Exactly. A little flair.
So you mentioned the album, like recording and writing started what, spring of last year was when that tour wrapped up? Can you give me like a time frame of like when it kind of wrapped up the recording process?
Even earlier than that, because the tour was in March.
Okay.
So I guess you're right, around spring, around April. But between every tour, we would go back and we would write. So we'd have 5 or 6 instrumentals, and we had a bunch more. And we always have stuff left over from like the previous album. Like I have a song that still didn't make this record that I wrote the original thing like on our second record, and it still didn't make. Yeah, exactly. That's right.
The hell? What the fuck is going on here? Why? Like, is it? Can you just not find a spot for it? Why is it still kind of holding itself back?
You have to talk to the higher ups. Just a lot of I don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing. I won't get in trouble. All right.
That's fair enough.
Don't do this to me. Don't fucking. I'm done.
Next thing I'm gonna be out here mowing lawns. All right. So I gotta keep the vest.
Okay, I won't make you do that. You're
No, but in all seriousness, it's just like there's with this album in particular, our original guitar player rejoined the band, and he's a creative force. And even though we wrote and recorded pretty much every album with him, even when he wasn't technically in the band, being back in the band, he just had a lot bigger role. And then DL, our singer, he joined up on the last record, but a lot of the record was done. So I think maybe he wrote like one song that ended up as part of that recording process. This time, I think he wrote three, like a couple were like his songs, and then a bunch of other songs it was like a lot of his material. So you just had a lot more songwriting power and a lot of material. I mean, I could show you, at least a dozen to 20 different demos of songs that didn't make the
Jesus.
record or didn't make it past a certain point. So it's and then we'll quote unquote finish the record, and the label's always like, hey, can you just write a few more? They
No.
say every album they do that.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Weird.
They got the script.
True.
Well, the idea is, once you're already kind of in a creative flow, you think you're exhausted, and then you go back to the well, and there's always a little magic there, and they think that there's going to be something special, and usually there is something really cool that comes out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So, what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Which one took the longest to write?
The longest to write.
Here, let me bring the album up. Let me take a look at it and
take a gander.
Yeah, can't remember all these damn songs. What is this thing? I can't even find it here. What the hell is going on? See?
If you need me to read the track list out, I got it up right here.
See, I just need it. There we go. There we go. Die About It. It's in here somewhere. See, I wish I was prepared for this. What is going on? No, I can't even see this. All right. See, now I feel stupid right now.
You're good. You're good.
Oh my God. Okay. What took the longest? I gotta go through these and kind of see.
Okay.
What took the most forms? Man, there's a track on here called Turn It Down that had a bunch of different versions of it. Like we probably had like 2 or 3 different verses on it. Man, what else? I mean, actually, I'd say the title track "Die About It" took a lot of different forms. There was like a whole big main riff that got cut out because that whole kind of rapping thing that DL does in that, like, that came out of left field. Like, nobody had any idea that's what he was gonna do. During the verses, and same thing like the pre-chorus. He does this crazy, almost like death metal type voice. Like, that was a total new voice that he had found, and so it took a lot of different dimensions, but it's cool to see. Sometimes you have an idea what you think a song is, and it has to kind of find its own entity, and your role is to kind of get out of the way and let it, and don't allow your kind of biases to stop the process of finding that magic.
Absolutely. And your favorite off the album?
Favorite? Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see.
Pull it back up.
It depends on when you talk to me. Probably like Masquerade or Turn It Down right now. But I love NDA as well. I don't know. It's so hard, and then you'll get one song, you be vibing, you get tired of it, and then it comes back around. So
nice.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So how'd the track list of the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, close be a closer, just shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
We always knew that Bad Friend was going to be the opener. And I remember I was out with Ice Nine Kills touring with them for half the year, and they were sending different versions of the order, and then I ended up just sending one, and they're like, "Yep, that's good." And then they switched it. They just changed. I wanted the album to end with "Hungry for Life," and they ended up switching that with "Set You on Fire." And I'm still mad about that. So
rightfully so.
Forever I'll be mad about that.
Yeah, hold that shit. Let that shit grow.
Well, I just think, you can just, if I want a track to be number 4 and you want it to be 12, that's a big jump in how people are perceiving a record. So, they have their reasons, and those reasons are wrong. But that's
exactly.
All right.
Then you were completely right.
Yeah.
Well, it's the burden of being right is something I have to live with every day,
Well, you guys heard it here first. You can listen to the album Doc's Way.
Exactly. Doc's version.
I think Set You on Fire is I think also one of the better songs on the record. And something about Hungry for Life just felt like a closer to me. It was not about the quality of the song. It was just something about the tenor of the song just felt more like something I would want to close the album with. But
Mhm.
they have their reasons.
I got you. And when
suppose.
you were track listing it, were you just like going based off of vibes? Obviously, you knew the first song was going to be the opener, but was it just like the vibe and the up and down flow for you?
Absolutely. Listen, it's something I think about all the time in terms of doing a live set list. I'm a type of guy who makes mixes, and is I'm the guy, like when you're DJing the party, I'm the guy with the with the phone,
Mhm.
Hell yeah, you have the aux. Yeah, yeah,
queuing,
yeah.
queuing songs up. And so it's something, obviously you want a balance of tones, so that if you have songs in similar feels, or you don't want the five heaviest songs all in a row or the five lightest songs all in a row.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to lead, essentially you want to lead the listener, like, here's how I want them to perceive this material and the order. And it's and sometimes it's not even just like better, right? Because I think in many respects I almost like the second half of the record more than the first half of the record, for me. So, but I think a lot of times as well, the artist, you're so close to it, sometimes it helps having other um just suggestions, and go, we really think, especially like picking singles, you're like, I think this is a single, but sometimes someone who has a more objective vantage point can kind of help you with that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at when you're creating this record?
um I think, me personally, it was actually a pretty challenging record to make, and a lot of that had to do with there being so much creative energy, because I had to kind of like take almost a step back on this on this record. And it's definitely not a discredit to anyone. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. There was so much talent in the room and so much creative energy, and luckily I've been doing this a long time, and I've played in a lot of different bands. And what you realize, if you get the chance to do that and have some success in different arenas, is that your role is going to be different in different environments. For some bands, you're a leadership role. Other bands, you're a supporting role. And it's, I think, being able to be adaptable in that way is really important, because you can't have five people who are the lead entity. It has to be some type of kind of flow and hierarchy. And so for me, it was like there was like a discipline to knowing when to voice an opinion or bring in the idea. But it is hard, because you have like a creative energy, and you want to filter that somewhere. So sometimes there's like, there's always like egos with that, and there's always like stuff that is not the easiest to navigate. But it is like, it's such an emotional process, because you're kind of, every time you're making an album, it to some degree it represents you.
Absolutely.
So when you're going through that, if you feel like it doesn't represent you, then it's like, it can be a little bit heartbreaking, so finding that balance. And also, like, every band, right, is different. You have some bands where like everybody, they're in a room and they're all writing together, and you have some bands, it's like one super genius writes all the songs and kind of tells people what to play. And we're not either of those. We're kind of somewhere in the middle. And so, but it is an emotional process, and trying to figure that out. But I think, ultimately, what you have to focus on is kind of getting away from your ego and going, what is the best song? What is the best for the songs? Not what is the best for me personally, and so that is like, I think, was part of the journey, is like being as selfless as possible. I think that was my kind of journey, was for the record.
Absolutely. And you spoke about being, you've adapted to different roles within different bands throughout your entire career, but like, was there any sort of like difficultness for you to like take a back seat on this album, like creatively? Like, did you struggle with that at all, or was it just like, this is what it's going to have to be?
I did. I mean, not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably a little easier where it was like me, Max, and John, just the three of us. But when we went to Joseph's studio, it was even more people involved, right? Because you had two more producers, and Josh, he helps us a lot with like vocal melodies and stuff like that. We'll collaborate on things like that. So it's even more talent in the room. And so there's even little less space,
Mm-hmm.
so. And it was also just, I think it was weird where you're writing an album in the middle of promoting a current album, so it
Yep.
almost feels like there's no like end to, like, there's no finality where you're like, okay, we're in this album mode, and then
Mm-hmm.
it stops, maybe you take a break, take a couple months off, and then you're like, okay, now let's start this next chapter. It's like everything's kind of blended.
Yeah.
And I think for me there was a certain amount of just maybe burnout a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
where,
Absolutely.
so like I wasn't, whereas like I think previous albums, like I'd have more songs, like it's my song,
Mm-hmm.
this time it was more like we'd get in a room and maybe have a riff, you have something, but you were kind of more making things in the moment as opposed to like writing songs on your own. But almost I felt like there wasn't any time, like there wasn't very little downtime, because it's there's so much work that goes when you have a new album out, because you're on the tour and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing things like this, doing media, doing meet and greets, doing
Mm-hmm.
acoustic performances. You're having to create a lot of media outside of that, like, okay, we need to make the acoustic version of the album, or the single. We need to there's just so much other work around uh the music besides just making an album and going on tour. There's a lot more stuff. So it was just a lot of work. I feel like this I was actually trying to put it together. I was like, man, we'll have put out 4 albums in 5 years, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah,
That's a
And
ton.
toured a lot in
yeah,
Yeah.
that time.
and you put it together like that, and it makes sense why you kind of took the back seat. But when you said that, I was like blown away, because obviously I look at the press that the band does, and I look at socials, and it just feels like you're like one of the driving forces, like, creatively behind the band. So it was just like hearing that you took a back seat was like, that almost didn't add up for me until obviously you explained it and you talked about everything else that was going on. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, I think I'm just the most kind of public facing band
Mhm.
member. A lot of that has to do with that I do a lot of stuff outside the band, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty active on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never been the main creative force behind Bad Wolves ever at any
Mm.
point. I've always been a supplementary member. And
Gotcha.
I've been comfortable with that. Like, it's but obviously there's you know, uh doing a lot of media and being, kind of the forefront, people will probably jump to certain
Can-
conclusions, but I've never
yeah.
spoken to that. It's always, this band has always been John's band. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and from a creative force, and John and Max, they're like the sound of the
Mhm.
band
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And then DL coming in, such a powerhouse as a songwriter, singer, guitar player, producer, to be
Mm-hmm.
bringing that influx of talent. And you got to let that flourish, especially when it's the lead singer. Like, the band has to reflect, I think, a lot of their taste
Mm-hmm.
and kind of artistic thrust, because ultimately that's what the people will connect with. I think the singer's all going to be a better avatar for the
Mm-hmm.
fan than a guitar player or bass player.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
3 words. Bad ass shit.
Damn
Okay.
right.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Not my
That's-
greatest moment.
It was off the dome though, so it's fine. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
More good songs.
There you
Okay, so we're getting a little out there now. Okay.
go.
So for these last couple questions, we're actually gonna shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Great. So we're actually gonna go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink? Apologies for my voice. I'm losing it a little bit.
Last meal. I see me. I'm like I like, I have the palate of like an 8-year-old. And then I also like divergent things, you know what I'm saying? So it'd probably be like, a cheeseburger and like mashed potatoes and like lasagna. Like
Yeah.
it'd be something stupid like that. What drink would it be?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Probably, probably, I feel like embarrassed to say this, but it'd probably be like some pineapple soda or something stupid like that.
Dude, that's fucking
really,
awesome.
It's embarrassing. Right?
How is that embarrassing?
The wild ass flavors of soda are the best ones, like the fruity ass flavors and shit. That's the best kind.
Well, so if we're on tour somewhere, every now and again you find some catering room, and they'll have like pineapple soda and grape soda and like weird, strawberry, and then I'll just steal a couple of those. And then one time I bought some grape soda, and then my fiance had a sip, and she was like, "Oh my god, that's so good." I'm like, right? Like people don't know, you have to have a certain, like hillbilly tendency to consume something, but it's like the best kept secret that that it is very delicious.
Exactly.
But it is killing you it's eating you from the inside, so it's not a good idea. So like I said, this poor palate I have attained over the years, I'm not proud of it. So
that's fair. It's very hush hush though.
Yeah, don't tell anyone, guys. Hopefully no one listens to your show, right?
No, absolutely not a single person. This is actually, we're not even recording right now.
Sick.
Yeah.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Fictional world for a week. Ooh, man. Probably Middle Earth.
Ooh.
Go to Hobbiton, smoke some pipe weed.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has said that it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
What is my favorite color?
Color.
Probably say either purple or green.
Ooh.
Like it's easy to say black because obviously I'm a metalhead, so like probably 90% of my clothes are black, and it goes with everything. But I feel like but black, they say technically isn't really a color, right?
That's true. That's what I always say.
So yeah, I mean, and do purple and green go together? Not really, right?
Barney.
Yeah, he's not aesthetically pleasing in my
mind. Not at all, actually. So take that as you will.
Looking like a grapefruit with a head.
Yeah, it's like really bad.
You know what? Let's go green. All right, but it has to be the right green. It can't be just like, throw up green. It has to be Irish spring green.
So a Barney green.
So I don't really these connections you're making right now. It's not really good for me.
It's not clicking. It's fine.
I'm of a different era. Okay.
Oh, okay. You don't have to do that to me.
Okay. We didn't have Barney coming up.
Okay. I'm fucking done. I'm done. You're not doing this right now.
We had Mr. Rogers was still alive when I was a kid. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, when did he die?
A long time ago.
No, you're fucking kidding me. I thought he was okay. Sorry.
Actually, I don't even. Maybe they were reruns, so maybe he was already dead. I don't know.
So you didn't even fucking have Mr. Rogers.
I definitely watched Mr. Rogers. So but back in the day, right? Like I remember being a kid, and I would watch TV all day, and like my favorite show would be like Different Strokes.
Yeah.
So
I know Different Strokes. Yeah.
But the funny thing about the show is like when you were a kid, you didn't realize the show actually came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
In your mind, you're like, this is a current show, but it was actually reruns. So maybe it's the same thing with Mr. Rogers.
Because I grew up with Mr. Rogers, so don't even do that to me.
Yeah. So as Gloria said, that's all the questions you have to say. Is anything that you would like to plug?
No, just I mean, this album is really right now where all our focus is, and spreading the word, and hopefully people check it out. Right now we have 2 songs out, Bad Friend and Legends Never Die. We have music videos. Stream it, buy it, TikTok it, do a funny dance on the top.
Oh yeah.
Right? Go viral to one of these songs, right? We need to come on, all right? Hook us up. All right.
Exactly. Do that shit.
Please. All right. Go viral.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for now. It's been Doc Coyle from Bad Wolves, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.